Well, good afternoon, or perhaps morning or evening, depending on where you are. Dr. Steve here, and today we're going to discuss just some positive thoughts that will get your week rolling in the right direction. So here it is, Monday, a new chance, a new week, a new you potentially, new projects you haven't finished. So I want to talk about, first of all, what you're up to. I'd like to hear from you what you're up to. And I'd like to specifically talk about how you can get the motivation you need to continue moving forward. So it's just an open discussion. I'm not here plugging anything. I'm not here attempting to sell you anything. This is just our open forum where I can discuss things with you and I can be of service to you. So if you're working on something that you'd like some help with or some guidance, or perhaps maybe you've fallen behind and you lack motivation, you need a little boost from the community or from me, go ahead and share what you're up to. And hello, Debbie. Hello, Brenda. Hello, Carol. Looks like we have the usuals checking in. Great to see you all. It's Monday. I'm going to be here for about a half an hour as usual. Again, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I work on getting here so I can share with you. And Hafsa, hello to you. If you're just joining, if you're new, go ahead and like this. Go ahead and share this. Even if you've been watching every one of these, please go ahead and like this, because this is a brand new broadcast. Like this one and share this one if you would. We want to get those positive thoughts out there to as many people as possible. Also, if you are brand new and haven't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe up above. That way, every time I'm live, you'll be able to see me and join in the conversation, because this is for you. This is my outreach to you. This is my community service, if you will, helping the community, the online community, in the best possible way that I can, which is making myself available live to you. You can ask me whatever you want to ask, preferably about self-hypnosis, NLP, life coaching, self-expansion, self-development. That sort of topic would be perfect for our type of discussion here. So let's go ahead and check in. Michelle says, hi, Steve. Hello to you. Edie, hello. Pri, hello. Says, I miss you. Well, thank you. You and I have never met, Pri, but it's good to be back here online on a Monday morning. Kathy, hello to you. Alexander, it's cool that you do this. Well, thank you very much. Miss Rowley says, hello, Steve. Do not talk so fast. All right, so I will slow down. We have some international viewers, some people who are tuning in from overseas. And when I say overseas, I mean outside of the United States. I guess we're all overseas from each other, essentially. But I will make an effort to speak more slowly, as I do in my programs. In my programs, I make an attempt to speak slowly so that I can be understood internationally. With these, I have just a half an hour, and I've got a lot of questions here from people usually. So that's why I get a little fast on these sometimes. Angie says, hey to you from SC. I hope your weekend was great. And I think SC might be South Carolina if you're in the United States. And hello to you. Eliza says, good evening, Dr. Steve. God bless you always. Thank you. Christian says, hi. Hello to you. Joe Pri says, hi from New Zealand. Well, hello, Joe. Nice to talk to you from New Zealand. I have lots of friends in New Zealand. Blair Gorman, the world's leading numerologist, lives in Christchurch, New Zealand. His lovely wife, Wendy, also, of course, lives there. So some good friends there. And I recently had the good fortune of teaming up with a really good friend of mine to create a product, a program that really helps people tap into their wealth potential. And that was with Mark Ling, who also lives in New Zealand. So I got to work with him and his outstanding team. I mean, everyone who I've met from New Zealand is just a remarkable example of people moving forward. So I'm really proud of my friends in New Zealand who are just making things happen all the time, and it's always good to hear from New Zealand. And plus we have, who do we have? Lord from New Zealand, a pop artist who who as a child became an international celebrity. So really a lot of amazing things coming out of New Zealand. So good to hear from you, Joe. Thank you for joining us from New Zealand, such a wonderful country. Hafsa says, I have introduced you to many colleagues at university. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully they can benefit from hypnosis. Michelle says, Steve, you definitely don't speak too fast. In my job, I listen to financial advisors who speak 10 to the dozen, and your real slow motion comparison. Excellent, excellent. I have an office in New York, and they always tell me that compared to New York, I speak very slowly. So that's good. It depends on the standard that you're comparing to. If you're comparing to someone who is a financial advisor or someone who lives in New York, perhaps relatively speaking, I speak slowly. But for someone who's not a native speaker of English, perhaps it's a little quick sometimes. So I'm going to work on finding that happy medium on these live broadcasts. And Dumitra says something, Dr. Steve, which I believe is probably a hello or something to that effect in your language. Hafsa says, many of my colleagues at King Abdulaziz University, Saudi Arabia, are following you. Well, excellent. That is wonderful. Tell them I said hi. A shout out to the university students there at King Abdulaziz University, and always great to be reaching international students. I did a broadcast for some students at a university recently. I believe it was in Saudi Arabia. And the wonderful thing about modern technology is that I can just be wherever I want and do a broadcast for someone very far away. So that's wonderful. Had a group of students. I could see them on their video monitor. They could see me in their classroom, front and center, where the chalkboard would be right above that. They had a television set with me on it, broadcasting live on Skype, and I could interact with them. And just such a wonderful concept. When I got into hypnosis in the 1980s, we didn't have anything like that. The programming was all very basic, literally basic. We were using basic language in computer programming, and we didn't have access to anything like this. So every day is just a wonderful new discovery about how we can reach more people and help more people. So I'm really happy to be part of this, to be alive today in this cutting edge day of technology when things are changing. We're talking about getting driverless cars, which of course would reduce accidents on the road. We're talking about all kinds of movements moving forward in healthcare. My mother unfortunately passed away from leukemia in the early 70s, but medical science is advancing so quickly now that we are helping more and more people who have an unfortunate situation like that and helping them survive, more people than ever before. So a lot of advances going on. So I'm happy to, Hafsa, thank you for mentioning that. I'm happy to reach out to the colleagues there at King Abdulaziz University. By the 10th time I pronounce it, I'll probably get close. And just thanks to technology, you're able to do that. And today we're talking about just positive thoughts, setting you up for a positive, powerful week. If there's anything you're working on, go ahead and share that. Share it with me, share it with our community here. I'd like to know what you're up to and what your positive thoughts are for the week. And I always like to frame it in the sense of something you're working on. So what are you working on this week that's going to add value to you, your life, your friends, your loved ones, something that's going to move you closer to a big goal that benefits you and other people. So let's hear about that kind of thing as we talk about moving into the week and getting things done. And let's go ahead and check in a little bit. By the way, if you're just joining me, go ahead and share this, go ahead and like this, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And that's important each time. If each time you would like it and share it, that would be great. Just share it with some people who you think would benefit from this. So if you've been watching a few times, you know the kinds of things we talk about. We talk about helping people move forward, helping them change their lives, and answering questions. Joe Priest says, awesome in Christchurch now. All right. Well, that is wonderful. And Joe, thank you. And I see Jane has joined. Lots of people joining. Christine says, hello, my lovely doctor. How are you? Love to see you online. Nice day, Dr. Steve. Well, thank you. That was a very warm welcome this Monday. Thank you so much. Hafsa says, Dr. Steve, hope one day you would come over to Saudi Arabia and lecture at our university. Well, thank you very much. I'd be honored. What I usually do is, if I'm going to be in your neighborhood, as I call it, your neighborhood of the world, I like to do a few things in that area to make my trip make more sense, so I can get maximum benefit from it for as many people as possible. So for example, when I went to Malaysia to see my good friend Vishen Lakhiani and interact with his people in Mind Valley, I did a few other things also. I went to Greece on the way back, and I went to I believe it was Italy and France. Yeah, Italy and France on the way over. So I do what I can to strategically organize my trips so that I can benefit as many people as possible. But thank you, Hafsa, for that. I appreciate the invitation, as it sounds, and at least perhaps we can do a Skype presentation sometime. Jane says, hello, Dr. Steve. Hello to you, Jane. Jane joining us from Moscow, and a wonderful place, and lots of rich history there. McGillis says, hi, Dr. Steve, you have really helped me with my self-esteem. Thank you for all that you do. I also ordered some of your MP3s. Well, thank you for that shout out. I appreciate that. Celia says, you know, all over the world. Okay. And Sonia says, hello, Dr. Steve. I just joined now. Today you speak about, okay, well, today we're speaking about just positive thoughts for the week, anything you're working on that you'd like to share, anything that you need some motivation on that you'd like to share, just some good thoughts and good motivation to get the week started. So specifically, I'd like to hear what you're up to. What are you working on this week? And I think that's really going to inspire all of us. If you're having some sticking points, you can share it with the community, and we'll jump in and see what we can do. Sonia says, oh, we read that. Desiree says, happy first day of summer, Steve, from Shasta Country, California. Well, thank you very much. You too. May says, Dr. Steve, when you return in Italy, I hope someday I see you in person. Well, thank you. Italy is wonderful. I've been to, I've been to Rome. I've been to Florence, the Amalfi Coast. Specifically, I went to the Uffizi Museum in the Florence area, and Ponte Vecchio, the bridge where they sell gold. Very interesting history there. Apparently, they used to sell animals. They'd slaughter them and sell them, and then they started selling gold, and I guess that sold a lot better. So now they just sell gold on Ponte Vecchio. And Vecchio being one of the leading families of Italy. My stepmom's Italian, so I don't have direct ties to Italy, but she does. So I was raised with a lot of Italian food and some Italian influence. So I absolutely love Italy. I think it's probably my favorite country in Europe. I'm not thinking of any others that I think are a lot better. I like Austria as well, which is very close to Italy. Must be something about that area where things are just spectacular. I haven't been to Eastern Europe, so if you're from Eastern Europe, I'm not able to comment on that. I've only been to about 9 countries in Europe, so mostly the countries of my heritage: Irish, Swedish, Finnish, Dutch, French, German. I'm all of those things. So and a few others. So I've got about 9 different nationalities. So I attempted to visit those 9 places. And places like Italy, because Italy is just awesome. I went to Venice. That is just absolutely amazing. If you've never done that, definitely check it out. So I appreciate the shout out from Italy. And let's see. I'm going to catch up a little bit. So May, thank you for that. May Gutierrez, thank you for that shout out from Italy. Mary Lou says, hi Steve, having a great day? I certainly hope so. Absolutely. Brenda says, I showed my grandson how to pay it forward. He now wants to drive around and help all the homeless with giving them new socks and blankets, and he sick, so we helped 4 homeless men. That is outstanding, Brenda. Thank you for sharing that. Michaela says, hi, Steve. Hello to you. Lucianne says, thank you, Dr. Steve. We speak also slow in Belgium. I've been to Belgium. I've been to Bruges, a lovely, lovely city with the horse-drawn carriages and the cobblestones, and not to mention the chocolates in any type of shape you want. So Belgium is definitely known for that. Absolutely amazing place. If you've never been to Bruges, Belgium, I can strongly recommend it as a place you should visit. Just very beautiful, and the people are, of course, wonderful. Duncan says, hello, Dr. Steve. Hello to you. Hamada says, hi, Dr. Steve. And Hafsa says, I've used your lectures in my classroom with many students, and it worked wonders. Well, thank you, Hafsa. I appreciate that. Alexander says, so sorry to hear about your mom, Steve. Oncology has gotten better, but we still have so far to go. Yes, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. My mom passed away from leukemia when I was 6. She wanted to see my 6th birthday, so 2 days after I turned 6, she passed away. So just a testimony for someone. They say that people who want to hang in there can actually hang in there, and she did. So just got over the finish line, and then she gave in. So yeah, a brutal battle with leukemia, but yes, thank goodness medical science has advanced a lot. That's one of the reasons why I'm very much in favor of medical doctors. Do they know everything? Of course not. But I believe they are starting to realize their limitations. But I'm a strong believer in medical science. I believe that it's done a lot of good. We can say a lot of negatives about it, yes, but I believe overall, as is their intention, they have done a lot of good. So I am a big believer in going to your primary care physician first if you have any issues whatsoever of a medical or psychological sort. And of course, hypnotherapy would be something that you would use in addition to that, and preferably with their blessing. And Carmen says, hello, Dr. Steve. Hello to you. Hamada says, can you treat PTSD with hypnosis? Yes, I have a recording for that. You absolutely can. Roberta says, good afternoon, Dr. Steve. Hello. Debbie says, hi, my friend got hypnosis to quit smoking. It worked for a little while. Does he need to get hypnosis again? Okay, so your friend got it. Yeah, if they have a recording on it, I would recommend, and if they started smoking again, I'd recommend they listen to the recording again. Tony Robbins says that the human mind is sort of like a piano. It needs to be tuned every now and then. I agree with that. So if he has gone out of tune, which a lot of people don't. A lot of people, when they quit smoking, they just quit because they realize that smoking is the path to an early death. And they don't want that. It's a very logical, simple conclusion, and they stick with it. But some people do go back to it. And so when they do, it's a great idea to, if they've gotten out of smoking by using hypnosis, then they could listen to the recording again or go back to a hypnotherapist. Usually, from what I've seen, most people do quit. And we've tracked them 6 months and a year out to see if they've maintained their non-smoking status. And we find the results are very, very compelling that most people do maintain their non-smoking status, which is great for me to hear because, as you also may know, my father passed away in 2004 from emphysema. He was a smoker. In fact, even in the hospital, he was smoking. This is, we're talking about a really strong smoker, if you will. So with that said, he unfortunately did pass away. He was 78 years old. Now, statistically speaking, we may say that, yeah, he got his life expectancy for his cohort, his age group. He lived what would be expected. But we can also say that his life could have been longer because his sister is still alive. And she's, I believe, 95 now. My Aunt Marion, 95 years old, still alive. This is his sister. So, Aunt Marion doesn't smoke. And I believe my dad would still be alive today if he didn't. The evidence is there. His parents lived into their 90s. So we do see smoking shortening lives. So it's nice to see when people do quit. So definitely encourage your friend to go back to the hypnotherapist, Debbie, or to, if they have the recording, to listen to it a few nights in a row. When you need a booster shot like that, I recommend just 3 nights in a row of listening to the recording, whatever it is you've worked on. So in other words, if you've worked on something and it's resolved for you and then it's become unresolved, in other words, you stop smoking but then you start it again, listen to the stop smoking recording. If that's how you stopped, listen to it for 3 nights in a row, a little booster shot as I call it, to get you back in the zone. And let's see what we have here. Victoria says, hi, dear Dr. Steve, do you believe depression can be treated with hypnosis? Yes, if you Google depression and hypnosis and my name, you will find a recording for that. As a hypnotherapist, I am not allowed to diagnose. I do not have the credentials or the licensing that allows me to diagnose. So we usually refer to that as sadness. As a hypnotherapist, you have to understand there are a lot of limitations that I work within. One of those is not being able to diagnose. So if someone came to me and they presented with symptoms that seemed like depression, I am not allowed to say you have depression. I'm not allowed to diagnose that either in their notes, the client notes, or by saying that to them. But I can recognize when someone is sad. And when someone is sad, we do have a recording for that. But you'll find it by Googling depression. We do that because that's a keyword that a lot of people use, but just understand the legalities involved. And Angie says, I find it hard to stay positive during sad or difficult times. What can help? Well, Angie, of course, I'm going to say hypnosis for a positive attitude can help. And all these recordings that I'm talking about, by the way, are available at hypnosisbystevegjones.com if you want to check that out. Again, that's hypnosisbystevegjones.com. I get a lot of questions about how can I help this, how can I help that? And I'm mentioning a lot of recordings, so I'm telling you that's the hub where you're going to find these. Or you can use someone else's recordings, but I'm just giving you an easy way to locate them. So that's the short answer, Angie, that you would need hypnosis for that. Beyond that, I encourage people to look into talk therapy. And really, Angie, also beyond that, it has, a lot of times when we have, when we're upset in our lives, it's our subconscious mind telling us something. So people will try to fight it. Okay, I'm upset in my life. What am I going to do? Well, I'll go with a friend and we'll drink so much that we won't even remember our names. Okay, you can do that. Did that help anything the next day? No, it just increased the challenges. Now you're hungover, you've done damage to your brain, and you still have the same challenges that you had before you drank a lot. What if we get clear about what it is we're really dealing with, about why we're not happy, about why we tend to be grumpy or sad, or what some may diagnose as depressed? What if we do that? What if we start to look at our life situation? What if we start to look at our friends? What if we start to look at what we do every day, our opportunities, our possibilities, our contribution to the world? What if we take a look at all of that? And sometimes, Angie, that's what life is telling you. When I say life is telling you, I mean by the way you assimilate it in your mind and react to it with sadness. Sometimes the situation that you have is not ideal for you and you need to make changes. And I, for one, make changes all the time. In fact, my life is a constant change. I am dedicated to constantly making things better and more efficient. Those are the things that I'm dedicated to. And I do that mainly with you in mind, actually, people who can benefit from what I'm doing. So I want my life to be organized around creating programs that help people. I want my life to be organized around me feeling good about myself so that I have something to give. Because a lot of people, if they want to give to the public, but they're empty inside, they run out of things to give to the public. So I'm constantly refreshing that with you in mind. So when I go to the beach, for example, I'm getting ideas about how I can create better hypnosis scripts. I'm also recharging my batteries to have something to give to you. So keep those things in mind, Angie, as you go through your life. You may not be contributing to a large group of people, but you're contributing to those people in your life and in your sphere of influence. So definitely look into what you can change about your life, Angie, and that goes for anyone. And that's a great way to really kick off this Monday. What's your life situation? How happy are you with it? I'm constantly analyzing my situation, constantly. And when I find a better way to do things, I do it. When I find a better way to live my life, I do it. I hired recently a dietitian and an exercise coach, and I have lost 25 pounds so far, and that's in about 6 months. Now, I started looking at myself and thinking, I don't think I look like my ideal anymore. I should do something about that. Talked to my assistant, had her find some people, put them into place. I started doing what they said, which was very simple, by the way. I'm working out less now than I ever have, and I'm getting better results, and I'm eating more than I ever have, but I'm just eating better things and doing better exercises. So I'm constantly changing. So Angie, always keep looking for the way you can change and improve. And if you're just joining us, go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this. Go ahead and share this. Even if you've liked all of the other ones and shared all the other ones, go ahead and like and share this, because that's how we get the word out there. Let's go ahead and check in a little bit and see how we're doing. Mary Lou says, started a new job here in Jacksonville, Florida, or it could be Jax Beach, JAX, Florida. Excellent. Florida is a wonderful place. I grew up there, and I was visiting there recently. Had some projects going on there. Kevin Harrington, my friend who is the original shark on Shark Tank, he and I started working on a project together in St. Pete, and it's taking off very nicely. So I love Florida. A little hot and rainy this time of year as we get into hurricane season, but still a wonderful state. Michelle says, I know I keep banging on about my writing, Steve, but I have taken your advice and am getting myself motivated and writing down loads of ideas as I go along during the day, ready for when I start getting down to work writing those chapters. Excellent. Michelle, just don't allow that to be an excuse for you. You know, looking like you're going toward a goal and actually getting toward that goal can be two different things. So, you know, I hear a lot of, and I'm not saying this applies to you, Michelle, I'm just using your example to help everyone here. So I hear a lot of people say, yeah, I'm working on a website. A friend of mine's working on it. They're on vacation now, but when they come back, they'll finish it up. I'm not paying them anything there, so I don't feel that I can, get on to them about that. So we'll see when they get it done. That's really not the way to do things. If you're having a website built, you want to pay someone to do it, not get a friend to do it whenever they want to. You need to have someone who you can hold them accountable to you. So if you're hiring friends, I always say don't do that. Sometimes people become friends after you hire them, which is perfectly fine. If you've got a nice personality, then of course they're going to become your friend. But having a friend do something or hiring a friend, I don't think that's a really good approach, because then what happens if they don't do their job? Then are you going to fire them? Probably not. You're going to have a very sticky situation. So, I wouldn't do that. So Michelle, my advice also carries over to what you're doing. If you're doing this and you have in your schedule when this will be completed, then you're working toward a goal. If you're just doing this and kind of in limbo about it, that's different. But go ahead and put that in your schedule. When is the completion date? And then work back from there. Hopefully you've already done that, Michelle, but thank you for being our example. Not to say any of this applies to you, Michelle, just using you as an example. So thank you for being that. Forte says, thank you for always doing this to everyone, and I am lucky to be part of your live show. Take care, and God bless, Dr. Steve. Well, thank you, Fortis. I appreciate that. And Terry has joined. And McGilla says, I shared your weight loss video with a friend of mine. Well, thank you. Pamela says, hello, Dr. Steve. Hello to you. Neelan says, hi, Dr. Steve. Hello to you. Nice to meet you. New friends through here. Thank you. Well, thank you, Neelan. Angie says, do you still practice in Savannah, Georgia? I currently do not. Christian says, I am hoping to get news about my cancer tomorrow. I hope it is good news. I have a wedding to plan, for I hate this cancer. It sucks. I am so sick with chemo. It is so draining. I hear you, Christian. My mother went through that. My friend Frank, his father went through that recently. This is... it's rough stuff. It's something that people hope they will never have to experience. But our thoughts are with you, Christian. Keep moving forward. Hafsa says, I would also love to invite you to Pakistan. Our youth needs to benefit from your knowledge and experience. Well, thank you very much. Sounds like this trip is coming together nicely. Celia says, use your name without point. Use your name without point. I'll need an explanation on that one. Hafsa says, my life has changed amazingly after listening to your lectures. Well, thank you very much. Miss Rowley says, Netherlands is okay, beautiful, not Alan, Amsterdam. Okay. Alexander says, stay strong, Christian. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for the support for Christian. Tina says, working on some hypnosis scripts and doing some recording this week. Hey, there we go. Someone who shared what they're up to. Good. We'll keep moving forward with that, Tina. I like it. Michelle says, you would love Budapest, Steve. An amazing city. Yes, I have heard great things about it. Christian says, hi from Asheville, North Carolina. All right. And Terry says, worked on business marketing for my business this morning. Now preparing some yummy food for dinner. Hey, that sounds like a well-balanced day. I like that. I have, since working with my dietitian, I have a lot of great meals throughout the day that I never had before. We're talking about smoothies with 2 cups of vegetables, and I use things like Brussels sprouts and broccoli that I put in my smoothies, and I just use a little bit of 3/4 a cup of fruit, because fruit is, of course, sugar, which is not going to benefit you in weight loss. And so I have 2 of those a day with some protein powder, plus boneless, skinless chicken breast, put a little bit of cheese on it, not as much as I was before, because now I'm only using half a slice, but also have just a wide variety of other amazing things. And like I said, I'm eating more than I ever have, and I'm losing weight and getting down to my ideal weight. So Jahira says, oh, Jean says, hello from Cocoa Beach. All right, hello to you. Jahira says, so amazing, Dr. Steve. I love to see you here again. You're awesome. Thank you so much for all your contribution with us. I'm going to be able to see you the rest of the week, or I'm not going to be able to see you the rest of the week. I'll be sharing my new hypnosis experiences with Tony Robbins' family at Dallas, Texas. Well, excellent, excellent. Tell them I said hello and send my love that way. That sounds awesome. Victoria says we have a copy of Ponte Vecchio here in Lake Las Vegas. I love Austria as well. My trip was Florence and Austria. Yes, I've been to the imitation Ponte Vecchio bridge in Las Vegas, which Ponte Vecchio in Italy is amazing. It's I have a video on it on YouTube that you can Google Steve G. Jones Ponte Vecchio and see the video I made there. But it's lined on either side with gold merchants. They're selling gold. Gold chains, gold, everything you can think of in gold they're selling. The mock-up Ponte Vecchio bridge in Las Vegas is pretty much deserted. There's nothing going on there. It's a bridge to another part of it, but there's room for expansion there. There's room for expansion. So hopefully over time they will develop that. But for right now, it's just a bridge that I've walked over also, but it pales in comparison to the actual Ponte Vecchio in Italy so far. But Las Vegas is a land of expansion, so we'll see what they can do with it. And I'm going to have to wrap up soon. It's a little bit after the half hour. It's 33 minutes in, so I'll go ahead and answer a couple questions if we have any, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. Remember, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe so you'll see when I'm on next. Go ahead and like this one and share this one, even if you've liked and shared other videos that I've done of the broadcast. This is a unique one, so if you find benefit in it, go ahead and like it and share it, because we want to get those positive thoughts out there. We want to have as many people join us as possible, so the more you like it and share it, the more people hear about it, the more people join us, the more exciting and in-depth our conversations become. So go ahead and do that if you would. Go ahead and like it and share it right now. And Vesna says, one positive thought from Paris. Steve, thank you for all your scripts. Love them all. Very successful. Hope to see you soon in Paris. All right. Well, thank you. I love Paris. I've been there a few times. Paris is a great city with Notre Dame. It's wonderful. The artist district, everything is just absolute. The Louvre is amazing. Of course, when I go in the Louvre, I just go to my 2 favorites. I go to the Venus de Milo and I go to the Mona Lisa. And there's just so much stuff there. You could just spend 2 weeks, literally. You could spend 2 weeks and probably still not see it all. So you've got to be very focused, just like most things in life. So when I go in there, I'm looking for certain things and I want to see them, and everything else I just kind of see in passing, because you would literally spend 2 weeks just there if you looked at everything. Brenda says, a lot of my daily work is with the elderly. That is wonderful. Keep moving forward with that. Dan says, hi there, Dr. Steve. Hello. Celia says, life is hard, but you are strong. Excellent. Rosa says, hi, Dr. Steve. Debbie says, I was my neighbor. I will let him know. Thank you. Hafsa says, I've embarked on a new journey with guidance from your lectures, especially after having a nervous breakdown. After my divorce, you have been a continuous source of inspiration and motivation. Well, thank you so much. And I'm just going to go through the last few shout outs, make sure we cover everyone. Ursula, hello. Dan, hello to you. Angela, hello. Katerina, positive thoughts from you. Thank you. And to you also. Jean says, are you going to be adding any more info to your money magnetism program? I'm enjoying the program. We may add to that. Jean, thanks for asking about that. The money magnetism program is a program I did with Mark Ling from New Zealand and his team, of course, and it was just something that really allowed us, Mark Ling and myself, to empower a lot of people to tap into their wealth potential. So we are planning on doing part 2 of that. It will actually be a live event that we do that it may be difficult to get into the live event, but don't worry about that because we're going to record it. We're going to make a video of that, and then that will be available. So thank you for asking about that, Gene. We are going to add to money magnetism. Debbie says that she is moving forward in a variety of ways. Norma says, do you read my message? I read all these messages. I'm attempting to. Sue says, congrats, Steve. Linda says, many likes from Sweden. Ursula says, friends are not for hire or for sale. Excellent point. I always say don't hire friends. Now, if friends start their own business and you want to do business with that business, I think that's great. But hiring friends can get a little dicey. Debbie says a lot. I'm just going to go through and check in. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Sonia, Christian, Ursula, Brenda, Sandy, Terry, Hafsa, Sonia. Hello, everyone. Lizzie has joined. Hello to everyone. And I'm going to have to wrap up now. We're 36 minutes in. I've got to get back to creating powerful programs that are going to help you. I've enjoyed taking this time from my workday to step there and say hello. Lizzie says, hi, the real Steve. Well, hello. And I'm guessing you're the real Lizzie, so nice to meet you. And on that note, I'm going to sign off. I'm Dr. Steve G. Jones, hoping you have an outstanding week.